Good morning. So today we're going to learn how to add some functionality to an XIF file that's included in OutSystems, an OutSystems application. So I'm going to add a control to this Gantt viewer tab, which currently is an empty section under under our generate Gantt. Okay, um, and it's within our planning overview. So looking at our logic tab, you can see we have this CDS Aspose Words, which is what we're going to be adding to. And the other pertinent area is that under CDS Aspose Words in the data section, you'll see that there are already also some structures here that we can make use of. So here's the XIF, here are our two structures. Okay, so the part to keep in mind here is that we need to cleanly separate the data generation from the actual usage of the XIF add-on to OutSystems. So in other words, we're going to generate all the data in OutSystems and we're going to send it to our add-on in the CDS Aspose Words. And the function that's appropriate will take apart that data and put it into our Word documents or Excel documents, as the case may be. So the first step is going to be looking at the code that we're replacing and determining what data structures we need. So if we look at the code for this, which is this section right here, we have get data, which is a private sub in this. And this was written in VB, so you have to excuse the language here. It's VB language. So we're going to be calling up the course number, and we're going to be calling up the project name in the structure. So looking at our Aspose structures, we have project report data, which has the project ID in it and the name. So we would just need to add an element to this structure for the course ID, and that's one of the first things we'll do. Then if we go back to our VB code, we have get milestones as a subroutine, and since the first add-on that I did reported a list of milestones, this is exactly the same structure as we already have available in here. So we have the project ID, milestone ID, description, start date, estimated completion date, and completion date. So those are all processed within this routine here. So I'm not going to have to add another structure for this. So first we'll see how to change our project report data to allow for another data element in it, that being the course number. So I'm going to right click on my dependency, on my actual add-in, the CDS Aspose Words, and I'm going to say open Aspose, the extension. And this opens it in the OutSystems Integration Studio. Okay, so it's downloading the most recent version. Now, one of the things to make sure that you do is always download the most recent version, just in case someone else has changed it. Then you're not going to be overwriting other people's changes. So never use your local version. Okay, and we're going to look at project report data, the structure here. And we can see we have all these identifiers. And notice that I have marked some of these as optional, not mandatory, because I'm not always going to use them. And we're going to do the same thing with our course number. So we're going to add a data type here of course number. Okay, we're going to make it not mandatory. And let me look up what our data type is, which is probably an integer, but I'm not positive. Nope, it's not. It's a string. 15 characters. So it's text and it's 15 characters. And we're going to leave it as empty. Okay, so now just that one little change, I'm going to go ahead and recompile this so that we can see the effect of that change. So this is our one-click publish. So it's going to upload everything to the OutSystems environment after I recompile the source code. So, and since I left this course number as an optional field, it's not going to affect the other place that this structure is used because we don't have to fill it. I'm going to pause recording a little bit while this is going up. Okay, so the publish is done. You can see right here. And notice it says potential incompatible consumer, which is our application here. So now we'll see how to fix that. And what we're going to do is come back to our interactive courseware and manage dependencies. And we're going to click on this. Notice it says it needs to be refreshed here. So we're going to go ahead and refresh it and click on OK. And now we have our course number here. So that's how that works to integrate these two things together. Now, we need to generate an Excel file in our Aspose Words, which is not what the current function that uses these two pieces of information does. So now we'll go into how to actually get the code in there and get the function available, because if we went to the logic tab here, you'll see that we don't have that method. We only have doc to PDF, insert image, merge doc, planning review report, and progress report. So we don't have anything that's going to do our Gantt viewer. So we want to update it so that it has a function here. All right. So we're going to go back to our integration studio. And since this is successfully published, we're going to close that. We're going to go to actions. And this is really important here. So when you want to add an action, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add it here. So we're going to add an action, which we're going to call planning Gantt view. Okay. And we're going to have some parameters. We're going to have the, what did I call that on this one? So when we actually do this, we need to have more than just these two pieces of information. We need our license file that's going to be sent in. We need the project report data. We need the milestone report data, and we already know about those structures. We need a file that's going to be our template file. We need the file type, which is going to be the MIME type that we're returning. We want to return a MIME type, or we want to return binary data, tell the calling system whether it was successful or failure, and possibly send back a message. Okay, so I'm going to copy a lot of these. I'm going to say, so they're all standardized. So license file is going to be our first parameter, and is going to be input. It's mandatory. Our data type is going to be binary. Okay. The next one is going to be the same here, the project report data, because remember we used that same structure, project report data. Going to be mandatory, input, and it's going to be a record. See right here. So it's a record and our record definition is going to be our project report data. Okay, then the next one we're going to be sending in is our milestone report data. And it's going to be a record list now, not just one record, because we have multiple milestones. So we have a record list, and our record definition is going to be milestone report data. The file that's incoming is going to be one of our parameters here, which is going to be the template file. Again, that's binary data. We have a result file that's going to go back. And this is not going to be an input parameter, it's going to be an output parameter. So I'm going to click there, and it's going to be binary data. And we're going to have a result parameter, which is, again, it's returned, and it's going to be Boolean. And we have result message, which is returned, and it's going to be text. Okay, so that's setting it up. If I go now and just save, I'm not going to save and publish because I'm not really done with this. I'm just going to save. Okay, so you can see how to get the data into C# for this. We'll pause this for a minute while we're recording, while it's saving. Okay, so now the save is done. We're not going to upload it right now because I'm going to show you what the C# code looks like and how that's generated. Okay, so now remember we have the function name that we're looking at is planning Gantt view, and we're going to go File, Edit Source Code.net, which I've set mine up to edit in C#. But it looks like I didn't have to save it before. It's updating the code again. So now it's loaded our project into our Visual Studio.net environment right here. So you can see we're in Aspose Words, Microsoft and Visual Studio. Okay, and what we're going to look at right now is this is the main code for this application. And we have functions within it, which we can see here. So the ones that I had written before, we have planning view report and project progress report. The others came with the original Aspose add-on, and I'm just keeping them in there, although we haven't used them. Okay, so going into our planning Gantt view, you can see here's the code that it added, and this is where we're going to do most of our work in writing code. And it automatically added this into the declarations, and everything's fine the way it is. We can go ahead and put a carriage return here if we want to verify all of the input and output. And then one other place that you will see these things is right here in this interface.cs. So in the interface.cs, it actually has put this prefix in as MSS doc to PDF. And it's actually, that's what ties the two together, the C# code function and the add-on, the integration suite add-on. Okay, and so here's our Gantt view declaration. And notice it's also put SS in front of these, which is, took me a little while to figure that out, but it's just the way they prepend their variable so that they know that they're unique within that function and they can match them up. We're still going to refer to them without the SS once we get into OutSystems. Okay, so that shows you how these two things are connected, and how to just set up the skeleton of your ability to modify your XIF add-on to OutSystems. In another video, I'll be showing you how to do the next steps in our OutSystems application, that being upload the resource for the template file and fill out the code in this planning Gantt view section. That's it for today. Thank you. Bye.